Good morning, Krypto.
Good morning, Warriors. Hello and welcome back to an episode of Good Morning Crypto Reactions, where we react to the most relevant and impactful crypto-related videos, helping our community build generational wealth during this once-in-a-lifetime crypto transformation. I'm your host, Abs, joined by the Italian Stallion, also known as Mr. Johnny Krypto. So sit back, relax, and enjoy as we discuss the latest trends and analysis of the cryptocurrency world. But before we dive into that, Johnny, I'd love to hear how you're feeling, and I'm going to pull up our first video.
I'm feeling great, Abs. And as you said, I'm going to take your advice. I'm just going to sit back, relax, and have a good time.
And with that being said, Johnny, we're going to roll right into this thing. Here's the first video telling us how crypto could be the death of the entire human civilization.
Can you give me the worst scenario? What kind of a systemic shock it will give to the current financial system is if Bitcoin is widely used in China or the rest of the world?
Well, if Bitcoin will become the ultimate type of a form of the currency been adopted by human society, I can tell exactly what's going to happen as the worst scenario or the must scenario. We're all going to die. This is not a joke.
Why do you say that?
Bitcoin has a very, very strict limited number, the total number. So which means this is a deflation currency, which means the currency would not grow its amount alongside with the growth of a human economic development.
Johnny Krypto, long story short, Bitcoin is a deflationary asset. And because of that, in and of itself, every single human being on the planet should be worried. This is Chinese state media. And one of the reasons that we should take this man and take his opinion as an important stance within crypto is because he also serves as the director of China's financial policy and research center based out of China. So this is pretty interesting development here, Johnny. What do you think about his Bitcoin statements and the fact that Bitcoin could be the death of human civilization?
Well, Abs, first of all, I'm not sure where to put this guy. If I should put this guy on the rat snake weasel index or the retarded syndrome index. We have to start a new one because
that rat snake weasel index is safe for Americans. We're not going to put any Chinese media. They need a separate index if we're going to start putting Chinese media on that thing.
Yeah, I think so. It just makes no sense to me, Abs. The ridiculousness, if that's even a word, he just made me invent a new word. If that's even possible, to even be the ridiculous of his statement to say that the world is going to die because there's not enough Bitcoin to go around the world is completely insane and irrelevant. Let me explain why that makes. I have to argue as to why it makes completely no sense. And frankly, has me worried for the people of China if that's the guy that's in charge of any of their currency policy. So number one, when you think, look at this, this is important. When you think of the fiat currency and how they work today, the reason why they're harmful is for the picture you're showing on the screen right now. A standard currency that has the ability that's not limited like Bitcoin is. His argument is because Bitcoin has 21 million coins only, that it cannot be, you can't inflate it, which he's right. And that's a good thing because when you can inflate something, guess what happens? Everybody who's watching this video, look at that screen. That's what happens. People don't realize inflation is bad. It takes the power of your dollar and it takes it from, look at that. In 1920, your purchasing power was almost a full dollar. Now here we are in 2025. It's not even worth 5% worth of what it's worth. You lost 95% of your value because of inflation. Okay, which means we print more dollars. Now,
Johnny, and I think it's important to know that the fact that Bitcoin is deflationary is one of the most appealing aspects of the currency for everyday citizens. Getting away from these assets that can be printed into oblivion, that sounds like a good thing to someone who's holding US dollars. So just to close us out here, Johnny, what do you think? Final statements.
Yeah, so this is the reason why he's so wrong, Abs. When you look at Bitcoin and you have 21 million Bitcoins, okay, what he's trying to suggest is that if the world all needed to use Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is deflationary, the price of Bitcoin would go up it would skyrocket, and that there wouldn't be enough Bitcoin to go around for everybody. But what he fails to tell you that you're going to learn on this show right here that we will tell you is facts, figures, logic, numbers, is the reality is there's 21 million Bitcoins, Abs, but that comes in denominations of something called a Satoshi. And guess what? There's 100 million Satoshis per Bitcoin. Okay, so what that means is today you would have a total. So in total, because of that, there are 2.1 quadrillion Satoshis to go around, which far exceeds where most of the disposable income, or I should say currency in trade, is in, right? Maybe there's $50 trillion trading hands from day to day. There's plenty of Satoshis to go around. Now, let me just tell you what a Satoshi is worth. Today, at $23,000, a Satoshi is worth 0.00023 cents. Well, in his ideal, definition, as Bitcoin would inflate over time, let's say to $10 million, your Satoshi would be worth 10 cents. Okay. And at $1 billion, a Satoshi would be worth $10, which means the Satoshi you buy today, if it were to go and be used in this, it would grow from 0.0002 cents to 10. That is a 43,000% growth. Your purchasing power would skyrocket. The world would be fine. There'd be 2.1 quadrillion Satoshis to be used in the world. I have no idea how he came up with that silly logic, but that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life, Abs.
Thank you, Johnny. So we're going to roll into our next video talking about United States regulation and the fact that Bitcoin could be the least of our concerns when it comes to the cryptocurrency market. If you guys are enjoying this content, please show us some love, smash that like button, let the algorithm pump this out to as many crypto holders as possible. And if you're looking for some long form content, check out our show every day, 11 a.m. Eastern, Good Morning Crypto. We're going to let the short clip play and go back to our group here. Here we go.
All right, a bombshell report tonight about how Elizabeth Warren, Senator Elizabeth Warren, and her office coordinated testimony with the Security and Exchange Commission ahead of a Senate hearing. The Heritage Foundation Oversight Project, of which I'm associated, through a FOIA request, obtained emails from Warren's office to the office of Chairman Gary Gensler 2 days before his Senate testimony back in September of 2021. The email from Warren's economic policy advisor includes a list of questions. Get this, a list of questions that Senator Warren planned to ask, along with suggested answers for the chairman of the SEC. The advisor also wrote, quote, "Let me know if you're okay with the questions as currently written." 2 days later, she sent a follow-up, quote, "Let me know if it's looking like the chair has any issue with the framing of the questions. Definitely don't want to put him in a tough spot," end quote. And it appears the chairman didn't have any issue with these questions because Senator Warren asked almost verbatim from the email. Check this out.
Chair Gensler, advocates say crypto markets are all about financial inclusion, but the people who are most economically vulnerable are the ones who are most likely to have to withdraw their money the fastest when the market drops. Does this sound like the path to financial inclusion to you?
It's unbelievable, Johnny Krypto. And I've been in this market long enough to understand the biggest issues here have nothing to do with Bitcoin and have everything to do with the regulators operating in the United States. Whether it's Gary Gensler or commissioners at the CFTC or the OTC, we have to worry about people promoting the currencies that they are going to profit off of. And we can have a whole conversation about the Ethereum Alliance as well. But I'd love to get some takes here. What do you think about Elizabeth Warren and Gary Gensler exchanging questions and answers before going ahead of Congress?
Let me grab it again. You know what, Abs? I didn't think it was possible. I did not think anybody could knock Jim Cramer off of the top of the rat snake weasel index. But I'm going to have to put Elizabeth Warren off the scale right here with Sam Bankman-Fried. She is by far this week's winner of the rat snake weasel index contest. You want to talk about so we learned this week that the NFL was scripted, and now you've all learned that so is our Congress and our government. Although we've been saying all the time on this show that this is all WWE, but their Abs is actual written proof. You just got the script behind the scenes. I don't know what else to say. There's no more I can say. It's just disgusting that you're just watching political theater. Anything you see on TV at this point, it's worthless to even watch because God forbid we should hurt poor Gary Gensler's feelings. Oh my God.
Johnny, he's only worth $150 million. I wouldn't want to take anything out of his pocket. But one of the things I wanted to point out for our listeners within this video was that the SEC is set to face scrutiny this week as Gary Gensler is being called ahead of Congress because the SEC may be reauthorized. And that would be the first time since 2015 that a reauthorization process would take place. So a reauthorization is the process by which Congress reviews and makes changes to the government agency and program in order to make sure they are regulating each industry properly. So Gary Gensler is currently getting $2 billion of taxpayer money per year to regulate the securities market. Johnny, Congress is going to be calling them to question to close us out. What does that mean to you, my friend?
What do you mean Congress to become? No, they're not. Congress probably sent them the script already. He's probably writing the questions and the answers. What good is we just saw? What good is that? No. Take that. You want to get a real one? Get rid of him. Bring that sucker on Joe Rogan. Let's get a real interview out of him, or bring him on the Good Morning Crypto show. You put him in front of Congress. You already saw they're going to throw him softballs. Well, we're going to just watch another round. I didn't know there were 2 games this week on TV. I guess we got to watch the first softball match. Now there's going to be a second softball match next week.
It is the sad truth, Johnny Krypto, and you're going to like this last video we have for our listeners as we close it out here. Gary Gensler is being called to Congress, and that is because Congress is the one who decides how much Gary Gensler and the SEC get paid. We're going to let this short clip of Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse explaining that play, and then we're going to close it out with Johnny Krypto.
We have to remember the SEC gets its power from statutes passed by Congress. Congress gives the SEC power. The SEC can't just take power. What the power says today, the 1933 Securities Act said that you have to have an investment contract. So as you'll see in our motion for summary judgment, the first step of determining it could XRP be a security is you have to have an investment contract. And our point is Ripple doesn't have a contract. With whom is the contract?
Well, we can talk about XRP all day, Johnny Krypto, because we know that is one of our favorite projects. But we talked about how Congress is funding the SEC, and now Congress is putting Gary Gensler and the SEC on the hot seat. So to close us out for today's episode, what are you anticipating from Gary Gensler being called to Congress? And will we see any fundamental changes from this reissuance with Congress and the SEC?
Absolutely not. Am I on mute here? Oh, I'm not. No, absolutely. You're not going to see anything. I mean, you already saw what's going to happen. He's already got the script. He already knows what he's going to be asked. He's already going to get asked softball questions, or maybe they'll make it a little harder, right? Somebody's going to get to ask a few questions that he already knows is coming, to make it look, and then he's going to ask for his money or whatever. He's going to get his money. And so to me, at the end of the day, it is absolutely 100% pointless and meaningless. All these things here, we talked about this on one of the shows. These Congress committees, Senate committees, or whatever they call them, chairman committees. Here's the deal, Abs. They're like a dog without teeth. A lot of bark, and there ain't no biting whatsoever in these things. So at the end of the day, I'm just hoping we get a quick, end to this XRP lawsuit, so we can finally get to see our baby run and make sure you guys have an exit plan in place if that happens.
Awesome, guys. And we're going to close this episode out the same way we always do by saying thank you to each one of our special guests. We just have Johnny Krypto in the building today, so I want to say thank you to my man, Johnny Krypto. Always exciting to collaborate with you. Show us some love, smash that like button, and if you're looking for the smartest way to track your crypto, sign up for Merlin down below and get a 30-day free trial special from our team. We're going to close this out the same way we always do. Warriors, guys, get your shit together, baby. Thank you for joining us.
Let's go.